want to talk about why I don't fly United anymore. And it's got nothing to do with anyone else. This is beef between me and United. Also, I want to let you guys in on a little secret about why airlines are so fucking good at overbooking all of their flights, because there's actually a reason for it. But my last experience flying United, it's actually unbelievable. This was my last experience flying with United. See, I live in Philadelphia, and there are certain airports, right, that certain airlines just pretty much own the majority of the terminals. And unfortunately for me, I happen to live in a city where you have to almost always fly with United. So safe to say, I got some stories about United. I have a shitload of stories just about me dealing with airports in general. If you want to check those videos out, you can. But the last time I ever flew with United, the reason it was my last time flying with United was because it made me realize that I cannot trust United to book me a seat on a flight and actually give it to me. I was either flying to Miami or I was flying to Orlando, and this was going to be like an 8 a.m. flight, which I don't know why I always do 8 a.m. flights, because I always pack my bag at like 2 a.m. the night before, so I hate myself in the morning. But anyway, so I had this flight. It was 8 in the morning. I got there at 6 in the morning because for some reason you have to be there 2 hours ahead of time. And so I go through the TSA. Everything's good there for once, thank God. Every time I'm at an airport, I always just expect something to go wrong, because if something doesn't go wrong, I am shocked. I get to my terminal, I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for my flight. Flight's on time, everything's going according to plan. People start boarding the plane, and then someone comes on the announcements and they're like, hey, turns out, looks like we overbooked our flight, so if anyone is interested in, you know, taking another flight that's in like 2 hours, you know, come to the front desk, let us know, we'll hook you up. Now the problem with this was that I had a buddy pass, which if you don't know what a buddy pass is, basically I know people who can hook me up with tickets that are dirt cheap. Like all you do is pay for like the taxes on the flight, and it's like 50 bucks for like a flight anywhere in the United States. It's pretty awesome. However, the catch is that there has to be an open seat on the flight, otherwise you can't get on it. It has to be basically like, it's like an empty seat, no one would have been there anyway, and then it's like, hey, they just pop you in. So when I heard this flight was overbooked, I was like, great, I'm not getting on it. So I get up at 6 a.m. for nothing. However, next flight, only a couple hours later, no big deal. So the flight comes, it's not overbooked this time, thank God. I get on the plane, chilling in my seat, I'm ready to go to somewhere in Florida, and then someone has the audacity to go in the announcements while I'm sitting in the plane, and they go, yeah, so it appears our flight is unbalanced. I don't know what the fuck that means, but basically what they're trying to say is, yeah, it's not that it's overbooked, because I'm looking around and there are empty seats like all over the place, but they say that the flight, it's like the balance of it is off. For some, if there's any like airplane technicians who understand what the fuck that means, feel free to contact me, because I don't understand it at all. But they were basically saying, yeah, even though we have plenty of extra seats on this flight, check this out, yeah, we're gonna take some of you fuckers off and make you go on another flight. And I'm just sitting here, like, what? Are you kidding me? Because when an airline decides they're gonna start taking people off the plane, who are they gonna take off the plane? Are they gonna take off the people that are in first class? That's a dumb question. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to take out the people who paid dirt cheap for their tickets, like me. They're going to kick them off, and they're going to make them wait for the next flight. And so the guy on the announcements, he goes, alright, yes, if you're in one of the following seats, I'm going to have to ask you to get the fuck off my plane. Thank you very much. And I'm like, great, I'm sitting here. By the way, I was literally in the last row of the entire plane, just like chilling, waiting. And they start listing off seats from the front to the back randomly. They probably take off like 5 people from this flight. I'm pretty sure I was like seat 27C or something like that. And you know, they're saying like seat 18B, 23A. And then they get to my row and they say 27A. And I'm like, great, I'm next. And then instead of saying 27C, they say 27E or F or some other letter in the alphabet. And they literally skipped right over me. I have no idea why. All I know is, thank God they skipped over me, because if they didn't, I would have had to wait until the next day to get on my flight. But I didn't. 5 other people had to wait until the next day to get on their flight. And the reason this bothers me so much is because of what, like the problem is, these flights that are overbooked happen all the time. I fly all the time, and I would say roughly 40% of the flights that I go on end up being overbooked for some reason or another. More times than not, it'll happen if I have a connecting flight, because there's certain airlines or certain airports that have like a lot of connecting flights, and so because people are going to be late to a lot of their connecting flights, they feel like they can overbook certain planes because people are almost guaranteed. There's almost like a guaranteed number of certain people who are going to miss their connecting flight, because how many times do you have a connecting flight that is on time? It never happens. But that's the thing, every single flight has something that's called a no-show rate. They literally have a term for it, which is the number of people that the airline is going to predict are going to miss their flight. So now if someone's going to miss that flight, that means there's going to be an empty seat, which, you know, that person who was going to be on that, they're just going to have to hop on the next flight. Fun fact, if you ever miss your flight, you don't actually have to pay for another ticket. You just kind of go there, say you're late, and they'll usually give you, like a buddy pass like what I had. They'll just give you one of those and you'll hop on the next flight that has an extra seat at least. But because that flight that you were supposed to be on that you missed has an extra seat now, the airline is saying, hey, that's an extra couple $100 that could have gone in our pocket. Why don't we just fill that seat up? So let's say there's a plane that has 100 seats in it and they sell 100 tickets for that flight. It's a packed plane. The airline knows there's probably going to be a couple people missing, so they might sell 102 seats on a flight that has 100 people. And that's how they make extra money for selling you something that doesn't even exist. Which normally I wouldn't have a problem with that if they were actually very good at doing it, but in my experience, I would say a little less than half of all the flights that I've been on have had an announcer come on at some point and go, hey, so we fucked up. Who wants $400 to get on another flight in the future? And a lot of times the people are saying, yo, I don't care about the money. I just want to save my time and get there when I want to get there. Now me, if I'm going on vacation, assuming it's not going to be like something that's time sensitive, like if I'm going to a YouTube event to meet you guys, like if it's Playlist Live or VidCon, I don't mind going a couple hours later or a day later because, hey, I just made like $400 for traveling. That's awesome. However, the fact that it happens damn near half the flights that I go on, that's bullshit. And so, you know, I just want to make a video real quick, exposing United for the greedy bastards they are. If you learned something new in this video, if you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button down below. Also, if this is your first time ever watching one of my videos, and you don't hate my face, feel free to subscribe because I make videos like this every single week. And guys, that's really all I've got to say on it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.